We are starting with the audio test. This is the three-way camera comparison video of Galaxy A54, A55 and A56. We have triple camera setup on all three phones. We got OneUI 6.1 on Samsung Galaxy A54, also OneUI 6.1 on Samsung Galaxy A55, and OneUI 7, the latest Android OS, Android 15 on Galaxy A56. I think that's it for the audio test. Let the battle begin. On the widest portrait, A54 misses on the background blur. We got the blurriest on A55 and you got the gradual blur on A56. All three phones are great in terms of face details, almost the same look even on the bigger screen. Just a difference on the background blur again, gradual blur on A56. But I think the biggest difference on the portrait mode is 2x. There's no 2x on A54 and A55. So if you need that 50mm looking shot, then I will upgrade to Galaxy A56. On the selfie, Galaxy A55 is the worst looking, followed by Galaxy A54, and I like the new sensor of Galaxy A56 again. We've tested this and it can compete with even the flagship phones out there. Alright, so after the portrait shots, we're testing the vlogging on all three phones, starting with the selfie video recording 4K 30 FPS. We can only shoot 60 FPS, or rather we can only shoot 30 FPS on all three phones. There's no 60 FPS on the mid-range Samsung. I really like the 12 megapixel sensor of Galaxy A56. Closely second is Galaxy A55, 32 megapixel on A54 and A55, and again 12 megapixel on Galaxy A56. This is the vlogging test on the selfie video recording. Now let's check the rear cameras. Now this is the vlogging test, sit down talking head video on Samsung Galaxy A54 to A56. So we're doing this because I know that some of you will probably use this for vlogging on TikTok, YouTube, and other social media. So this is what it looks like on a controlled environment. We have the same 12 megapixel sensors on all three phones. I don't think there's any difference. But obviously in software manipulation on video, we might have some sort of differences on all three phones. Let me know in the comment section which phone is better on the ultra-wide. Now let's check the main sensor. Now we're vlogging using the main sensor on all three phones. This is a 50 megapixel sensor, 1/1.56 inch sensor. So again, same sensors on all three phones. All three phones are also updated to the latest OS if you want to know. The latest A56 has OneUI 7. We have OneUI 6.1 on Galaxy A55. I think they're rolling out OneUI 7. We will probably test this again once we have the Android 15 on Galaxy A55. I think just to give way to A56 again, marketing strategy for Samsung. I think that's it for the main sensor. Now let's check the crop. Also available on the camera app, we have 2x crop on all three phones in video recording. So we're just cropping in on that 50 megapixel sensor. Again, I think this is a lossless crop on the video recording. I think that's it for the video quality vlogging test. Now let's check the image quality. Wow, this is the closest as you can get on any of the comparison videos on brighter situation. Almost the same. I think you just have a sharper image on controlled environment on A56 compared to the older two. The sky is lighter on A56 and in terms of exposure maybe a tad brighter than the older competition. Here you would see that A54 is muted followed by Galaxy A55 and the brightest will be Galaxy A56. I think this is the biggest comparison of the three. I still like the approach of A54. You will see details on the images while A55 and A56 will blend its color, sometimes losing the details on the surface. We got the darkest exposure on A54 followed by A55 and then the brightest will be A56, and also the vividness of the images progresses from A54 to A56. We got ultra-wide and main sensor on all three phones, but we got the best looking 10x on A56. Now this is the video outdoors, starting with the selfie camera 4K 30 FPS. So look at the color of the surroundings, the sky, and the grass. This is with human subject or vlogging outdoors. You got a yellowish skin tone on Galaxy A54, a little bit washed out on A55. you got natural looking and great details on Samsung Galaxy A56. Let's check the video stabilization. Alright, let's check the rear cameras. So this is the rear camera test, starting with the ultra wide 4K 30 FPS. So this is the color of the sky and the grass. You got a bluer sky here. Look at the colors, warmer on A54, natural looking on A56. Let's check the autofocus and the stabilization. Now going for the main sensor. This is 1x on all three phones. So look at the color of the sky again, and the grass and the trees. You got more details on Galaxy A56. Let's check the autofocus again. And the stabilization. And going to the farthest zoom, we got 10x on A54, 10x on A55, and also 10x on A56. I like the details on A56 compared to the two phones. Closely second is Galaxy A55. On night shots, you got a lot of details on Galaxy A54 compared to the brighter A55 and A56. You loses the colors on the grass, but you got good details on A54, while you have an over-sharpened and vivid look on A55 and A56. Easy. Go on and do what you do. All of this looks like... Even in the shadowy part of the images, you will see that there's more details on A55. If you're looking on the bigger screen, look at the lower portion of the images. But on pitch black condition or darker situation, I think Galaxy A55 is the brightest among the three. All the colors here, all the colors here. Pop. Are you seeing clear? Are you seeing clear? Pop, pop. All the colors here, all the... We got a purplish tone on A54 and neutral white balance on A55 and A56. And checking all sensors from the ultra wide to the main, I think A55 and A56 look better. Alright, so we're checking the low-light video on all three phones, Galaxy A54, A55, and A56, the mid-range Samsung. I think in terms of mid-range segment, these three phones are very popular. So we have a 32 megapixel sensor on Galaxy A54 and A55, and we have 12 megapixel sensor on Galaxy A56. This is a new sensor for the new A series. So in terms of sensor size, 1/2.8-inch sensor on Galaxy A54. We have 2.74 on Galaxy A55, a little bit bigger. And Samsung did not disclose the sensor size on Galaxy A56, but this is a new 12 megapixel sensor. You will see that the exposure is degrading as the phone gets older. I think that's it for the selfie video recording. Now let's check the rear cameras. Now this is the quick check on the rear camera, starting with the ultra wide in 4K 30 FPS. So we have 12 megapixel sensors on all three phones. We have 1/3-inch sensors on all three phones, so a little bit smaller compared to the selfie and the main camera. I think that's it for the ultra wide test. Now let's check the main. Now this is the main sensor, 4K 30 FPS on all three phones. So there's a difference on the updates as well. We got OneUI 7 on A56 and also better expose in the low light video recording. And we have A55 and A54, which is OneUI 6.1. So we'll probably retest these three phones after the update on A55 and A54. But for right now, if you're buying these three phones, this will be the look and the video quality of all three phones. And lastly, we're doing the 2x crop on all three phones. So this is just cropping in on the 50 megapixel sensor on all the main sensors of all these three phones. I think that's it for the low light video test. Now let's check the video resolution. This is the video resolution test, starting with Samsung Galaxy A54 in 4K 30 FPS. Then we have last year's Samsung Galaxy A55 also in 4K 30 FPS. And lastly, we have Samsung Galaxy A56 also in UHD 30 FPS. We got 4K on all phones, on all sensors. I think that's it for a camera comparison video between these three phones. Is it worth it to upgrade to the latest A56 on OneUI 7? Leave your comment down below, and as always, thank you guys for watching. See you in the next one.